There we go. Welcome, welcome. Sorry about that. It is just me here today, so the tech, as usual when it's just me, is never quite working right. But hopefully you can hear me, and hopefully you can see me. Those are the important things. Let's see here. Why is chat acting funky? All right, that's a little weird. Well, I can still see it. So, hello, Funbrick Creations. Hello, Doug. Hello, Fidel. Hello, James. Welcome, everybody. Today, what we're doing is sorting decorated parts. I'm kind of splitting it up into a couple categories here. I am doing these cloth parts, things that aren't actually decorated, and then down below me, I have got like printed and then stickered. And then I'm going to go ahead and start cataloging. So I probably will not get to the cataloging today because I still have about like 15 pounds of decorated parts to go through. But yeah, I'm going to start with these here. What is everybody up to in terms of what you're doing on your Saturday? Hello, Blue Devil Bricks, and hello, PixelLink. Hello, Soulflame. Great to have you here. But yeah, anyone doing anything fun over their weekend? Or anyone have any interesting April Fool's stories to tell? I gotta say, my April Fool's was pretty uneventful. Actually, Evan's fish tank sprung a leak, and he was out, and he was out working, so I had to take care of that. So I guess that was an exciting April Fool's adventure, but unfortunately that was not an intentional prank. So yeah, really nothing much happened. I suppose as you get older, there's a lot less enthusiasm for fun like that, unfortunately. And there's a lot of not decorated parts in this decorated bin. So I'm not exactly sure how long I'm going to be live today. As per usual, probably just until chat kind of wears down, or I got to get to doing some other stuff because I got to get some Lego drying that just finished in the washer. Let's see here. Funbrick says they can see and hear me. Excellent. Soulflame says I'm sorting a 5 kilogram Bionicle bulk lot full of special parts and rare parts of those bigger sets. Bionicles are great. They add a ton of value and they sell really fast. So those are fantastic. And 60 pounds for that. So that is, yeah, let's see, that's like what, 85 bucks or something like that? I don't know. But that's definitely a pretty good deal for all of that. Because those are going to part out pretty well. We added a bunch of Bionicle parts not that long ago when I did the miscellaneous category, and then Technic before that, and we saw a pretty much instantaneous spike in sales. So hopefully that will improve your store. Brickmark, hello. He says, good evening, Paul, from England. A few more empty drawers behind you. Yeah, if you're referring to up there, yeah, we've got those, and then we've got a bunch over there. As well. So we just, well, not just, a couple weeks ago, we put up a bunch more acros. So we're filling them up. And just in case you missed last week, we've also expanded our contractor network quite a bit. So hopefully there's going to be a very large influx of pieces getting added to the store pretty quickly. So we definitely need those drawers. So they're going to be filling up really fast, hopefully. We've got our first group of people who just finished getting trained a few days ago, and I've already brought back a bin of A-sorted pieces, which is fantastic, and hopefully we'll be training one of them on B sorting coming up this week. Let's see. Fun Recreation says, after the stream, I'm going to finish the Darth Vader helmet as it is only Sunday morning here. I would have finished a week ago, had other stuff on my desk for the week, so now it's back to Lego desk. Fantastic. I am currently not building anything for fun, but hopefully in some of the streams coming up, maybe I will we'll get around to that. The kind of disappointing thing is, as the store grows, I have a lot less time to build stuff, but hopefully in the future I'll have some more freedom to do that. But yeah, as I'm sure you guys have been able to tell, there have been a lot less vlogs. We've been very, very busy recently, which is fantastic, but thus is the price of expansion. Doug says, looking blurry. Strange. Is it blurry for anyone else? Because I'm pretty sure it's on autofocus, which would be a little weird that it's blurry. Blue Devil Bricks says, sorting out a 9,000 plus piece bulk lot I just purchased. Amazing. Yeah, we currently have a pretty big backlog of supply. So we have, I don't know, probably 300 plus pounds in storage right now. And so we are working through that really fast. But based off of our current rate of consumption, we're going to have to go buy some more this month. So if we can, you know, get that down, process 300 pounds, that would be pretty fantastic. Okay, Funberg Creation says, not blurry for me. Great. Soulflame says, I agree. I think part of the reason is that the LEGO group destroyed the Bionicle molds. I did not know that they destroyed the molds. I assumed that they just stopped making Bionicle stuff. I would be kind of surprised if LEGO ever actually just destroys molds, because they're very expensive, and you never know when you might want to, you know, make something again. Someone asked what I was sorting today. I am sorting decorated parts. I'm splitting them up among cloth pieces, not actually decorated, but still in here for some reason, and printed. Welcome, Cheryl. Great to have you. You were here last week, if I remember correctly. Unfortunately, Evan is not able to be here today. He has he's had a very busy weekend. Someone just keeps coming in and out of the side gate. Hopefully that is not too loud for you. Cheryl says, yes, the grandma, lol. Soulflame says, I read the molds were destroyed, but I thought the same like you. Why would they destroy a mold? Yeah, I mean, unless they can make them a lot cheaper than I would imagine, but... One sec. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Sorry about that if you could hear the very loud noises. Apparently, right now while I'm streaming is the optimal time to try and fix the gate. So, hopefully things will be a bit quieter. Let's see. So yeah, I'm basically just trying to get through as much of this decorated as I can. I have not been a super strong believer in the decorated parts selling, but I don't know, we have a bunch of them, and other people have told me, other stores have told me that we were wrong, and the decorated parts do sell extremely well. My guess is it probably varies a lot, but the last time we did decorated, I did not notice a ton of them selling, but maybe that's just me. Oh, I was going to ask today, any advice on drying parts? So what we do is we have it go out with a level where it's still dirty, and then it comes back, and we wash per category, because some categories are tougher than others in terms of, you know, to what degree of hand wash they need. Some can just go in the washing machine on cold. Some need to be hand washed. Some just cannot be washed. But the thing is, it takes a lot of time to dry because we just set them out on a table. Does anyone have any more effective methods? I've been loath to use a hair dryer because I'm worried that it's going to deform the parts. But what about you guys? What do you use to dry them out? Because I've got 20 pounds of bricks that I need to set up at the end of this stream, or after the stream. Funbrick says, I've had a lot of decorated parts sell, but 90% of the parts are new. Yeah, unfortunately, these are not new. My guess is that a lot of the printed parts probably sell pretty well, but I don't know. I just would not want to buy used stickers usually. Harry says salad shaker. Yeah, that's actually not necessarily a super bad idea. My guess is you'd still have to let them sit out because you've got like all the, you know, little drops and stuff inside. Pixelink says, I also lay the parts out on a table overnight, spread out on a towel with a couple fans blowing on them. Cheryl says, I use stacking cots with blankets and then fans. Everything else seems to not work as well, but air dry, plus I sanitize them. What exactly do you do to sanitize them? Because we basically just run them in the washing machine with, well, depends on the category. Some go in the sink with lukewarm water and soap. Some go in the washing machine with cool water with detergent, light detergent, or whatever the weak stuff is. And usually no spin cycle because we don't want the parts to get damaged. But like bricks, usually fine to have a little bit of movement in there. But everything else, basically not. And obviously, decorated parts, unfortunately, just really cannot be washed at all. Soulflame says, I dry the excess of water off the towel, the big water drops, and then lay them to dry like usual. They're dry the next day. Okay. Because what we've kind of had happen is the pieces will get washed, and then they'll go to get cataloged, and they get bagged when they get cataloged, and then it comes back with all of the bags very humid and wet. Because, you know, there was minute amounts of moisture like inside the bricks, and what am I doing? And that's kind of more what I'm worried about, and so we just let them sit for a very long time. Matt says, hairdryer works. I've used a hairdryer when I've had the pieces ready within a time limit. Did not damage the Lego. Okay, good to know. Maybe I will try that on a sample size, and see if they get messed up. Soulflame says it's also important to change the towel they're resting on with a dry towel because the moist towel will make the drying process slower. That indeed makes sense. Cheryl says, I was an early childhood educator for 35 years. Okay, so you know all the secrets. I wash in a bathtub in laundry bags. Okay, that's basically what we do. First wash is with hydrogen peroxide and water, then rinse, then dish soap, then rinse, then bleach, water soak. Okay, that's a lot of steps. What is your hydrogen peroxide to water ratio? Soulflame asks, what is the hydrogen peroxide used for? Well, it's a pretty effective disinfectant, but also it can revitalize some of the colors. We use them on white pieces. You can also apparently use it on like sails and cloth stuff. I have not tried that, but apparently it can kind of get the colors to pop again. Cheryl says, then I put it into layers of towels and pat. Then spread onto towels, usually dry in 3 days. Okay, so I guess I could start before the weekend, and we can have stuff ready hopefully by the end. Cheryl says 1/4 cup per half bathtub. Cheryl says, other thing with peroxide, it helps loosen dirt. I did not know that, but let's see, 1/4, okay. I will make sure to remember that, and I will try it when I run my next load, and give you an update next time on how well it worked. Soulflame says, all right, but don't you need a UV light to revert the discoloring? Yeah, I think the usual practice is, we have not done it that often. The usual practice is you take one of those Sterilite containers like this, fill it with water and hydrogen peroxide, take the white pieces, stick them in there, then set it outside for the afternoon, bring it back inside, and they should be much brighter in color. We've only tried it on a couple pieces. It kind of worked, but I don't really know if it's necessarily worth it, because white pieces just already are so scratched and damaged that I don't really know if it's worth the added step. Cheryl says, all steps are not that bad. I use a shower spray head. I wash about 30 pounds at a time. Okay, that's basically pretty similar, because we use 20-gallon, our like standard store inventory size is usually in units of 20-gallon tubs, so that averages, 12-gallon tubs, that averages to be about between 20 and 25 pounds, depending on the type of pieces in there. Pretty comparable. Fidel asks, what's the difference between A and B sorters? So the B sorters are new. We just revamped, well, we revamped a lot of stuff, but we like completely redid our like used supply chain. So let me get a drink of water first. But well, I went down the wrong pipe. Basically, the A level, no, first we go to the supplier, whether that is garage sale, well, excuse me. Okay, wow. So first we get bulk from a supplier, and we do a quick pre-sort. So, wow, we can hear the water going down with that microphone. My apologies. So first we do a quick pre-sort. Usually that's either right when it comes in, or sometime around there, where I just pull out anything that I can immediately identify as very valuable. And that goes in another separate little bin, and I catalog that pretty quickly. And then the remainder goes into big tubs where it just sits until it's ready for the A sorter. So the A sorter gets a 12-gallon bin, so approximately 20 pounds of random bulk. And they go ahead and split those, split that into what is now 22 categories. So these include things like large bricks, minifig parts, diagonal plates, regular plates, medium plates, medium bricks, modified tiles, modified plates, etc., etc. I don't have them all memorized, unfortunately, at least not off the top of my head. But basically, so then we get back Ziploc bags, which are labeled with what the category is inside. They get paid a pretty, I mean, not necessarily low. It's definitely worth the work. It's just not a lot of money because it's a pretty straightforward and pretty quick task. And they get a flat rate. So thank you, Jolly Jim's Bricks. Welcome. Thank you very much for the super chat. And I like the sticker. Thank you very much. It's actually been a while since we've gotten a super chat, especially one with a sticker. But thank you very much. Cranland, hello. Anyway, I was talking about the A versus B sorter. So we get the stuff back from the A sorter, and then it gets split into other bins. So on the bin wall, which is new, when all this stuff is done, there will be a vlog or a video kind of explaining our new workflow. But basically, we have these shelves. Well, they're not here yet. They're arriving tomorrow. Right now, we're just kind of working out of bins on the floor with 22 bins, so one for each category. And those fill up, and when they reach a decent level of full, it varies from category to category, because obviously, like small plates, which are basically the 1x1 round plates and similar stuff, it would take years to fill up a 12-gallon container of that. So we basically fill that to like 1/4. Hello, David. Welcome. We fill that to like 1/4, but most categories, they get filled up all the way, and then it goes to a B sorter. So a B sorter takes all of those and then breaks it up by element. So not lot, but element. So we they just take, like, for example, let's see here, all of, it's a bad example because there's only one color here. Okay. So like all of the 2x2 jumper things, and regardless of the color, they just take them all, put them in one bag. They do differentiate between mold types. So like the regular jumpers, there are some with groove, some without groove. They would split those into 2 separate bags. They don't count, they don't sort by color, they don't create a spreadsheet, nothing. They just split it up like that. Then they return that to us, and when we get enough of an element, it will go out to a cataloger, who then goes ahead and splits it by color, counts them, makes a spreadsheet, etc. So basically the A sorter splits it into categories, then the B sorter splits it into element. But yeah, we originally had just 2 levels, which was the A and then the cataloger, but it was too much for the cataloger. So we just had to add an extra step because it wasn't really worth their time, and they were spending, well, I was spending too, so much time down sorting is what I called it when I was cataloging. It just really wasn't worth it, so we had to go ahead and add another layer in there. Potentially on like how far we scale, there may end up being a C level. Right now there aren't any set plans for that, but I could see, I have received a couple bins when we were just testing things where they were broken up down to color. And that was extremely fast to catalog. And so it may be worth it to have someone do that, but not right now. They would have to be doing a lot of stuff simultaneously in order for that to really be worth it. So right now it's just A, B, and cataloger. David West says, I'm on vacation, so there better not be any bots or I'll have to be paid to mod. Nice, you have B sorters now. David West type beat. Yes, we did get the idea originally from you. Soulflame says, and then there's the newer jumper mold with the middle stud holder as well. Yes, there's a bunch of jumpers. But that's basically the current method. It's a bit more complicated because when these catalogers don't catalog a category now, they catalog a group of mold types. So I haven't completely figured out how I'm going to handle the transition from B to cataloger yet. I think I'm kind of just going to have to wait and see what comes back from B. I'm a little worried because I don't want to get like a billion categories and I still want to be able to track something down. I'm kind of just thinking that it might be a good idea to just have like some descriptors, like curvy stuff, basically something I can recognize that's more or less arbitrary, just so that when similar pieces come in, they can go into similar locations without it taking up a lot of time. Because part of the issue with the cataloging is that it's really not worth it for them, at least at a rate where it makes sense for us to pay them to do it, where they're getting a high level of differentiated stuff. Basically, the more that they can spend, the more time they can spend on an individual element, the more efficient it is. So we want to let the elements pile up as well. But obviously there's like a billion elements, so we can't have a category for all of those. And if I got to go look at the number on everything, then I might as well just catalog it myself. So got to figure out some kind of a good middle ground there that's time efficient. But yeah, more news on that in the future. Cheryl says, have the new sorters started? How's that going? We've got the A levels in. One of our A-level sorters is going to be transitioning to B next week, assuming that their next bin comes back without any problems. I have been doing B sorting a little bit on my own, less because it needs to get done and more because I'm trying to come up with a baseline. Like, you know, if I can B sort something in 2 hours, then someone without any experience can probably do it in 4. So you're just trying to come up with like, adjust our rates to be fair. We're not paying hourly, and at the end of the day, we want people to be rewarded for being quick. But at the same time, we don't want it to be like $1 an hour because it's ridiculously difficult. I mean, that's ridiculous. So we have different pay per category. They all have different rates, and we're going to be fluctuating those until we kind of come up with an average as to what someone who is actually focusing and taking it seriously is able to do. But part of the allure of the job is that you can watch TV while doing it, but we're not going to pay you to watch TV. So we're not going to pad your hourly. We're not going to pad your rate to do that. You're just going to be making less because you're having, saying that work is not fun is not what I mean to say, but you're focusing less on the task. David West says, I think bringing in more cataloging in-house is what made my sales go up so quickly. Having like 3 people adding 1 full day of work is insane, and then huge packing day Tuesdays. Yeah, eventually we would like to bring catalogers in-house, but not until we move. I talked about this a little bit in our Patreon chat, but, and we may have mentioned it a little bit before, but basically we don't really want people to really know where the house is. No offense to our fans. I'm sure you all are great people, but we'd rather not have visitors. So when we move to a location, like a warehouse or something, we'll probably be bringing catalogers in-house, but up until then, they are going to be remaining as contractors working outside. Howdy, JB. Welcome. Soulflame, it was in reference to David saying that there's actually 4 mold types. Yes, there's a couple pieces like that which have unlisted mold types, but like some mold types are listed, so it's always very confusing. David says, yeah, totally makes sense. I wouldn't want people working where I live. Yeah, exactly. Even if it feels like I live at the store sometimes. Well, I do live at the store, so yeah, and it's definitely feeling a lot more like that now. My hours are going up as more and more stuff, because as we bring on people and our back end begins to expand, there's just so much more work to do, and we still, in addition to all the, I guess, soft tasks now, like I would consider a soft task like doing books or, what do they call in business? Indirect inputs, right? Something that does not immediately lead to generation of revenue. I gotta do all those tasks now, but I still gotta do all the tasks that are in the store, because we haven't quite hit a point. We're in this like weird middle ground where, we're coming out of being able to do everything ourselves, but we're not quite to the point where we can have every slot filled by an employee yet. Cheryl asks, did you see my corrected ratio? Peroxide, half cup, bleach, 4th cup. Yeah, I did see that. David says, more staff is time saving in theory, but much more time spent logistically. Yeah, totally. But as hard as it is to say, the eventual dream is that I just don't have to touch Legos. Not that like I wouldn't want to come in occasionally and just do something on the floor for like nostalgia's sake, but the eventual goal is that the business will kind of run itself. Lots of Brick says, hi there, where do you get the Acromill 64 drawer units? I looked online and they're $70. Yeah, they're insanely inflated right now. We used to buy them at $28 used on Amazon. Then they went up to like 40, and then they went up to like 70 to 80. If you just wait and keep checking every day, every few weeks they'll drop to like 40, and usually when that happens, we just buy a ton of them. They were down quite a bit a few weeks ago, and we bought like basically like a whole nother wall of them. But yeah, it's just a waiting game. And I recommend that you have a budget, depending on the size of your store and like how much you're able to budget stuff out. I recommend you have some money set aside, which is specifically for acros, so that when they drop in price, you can buy enough to last you through, a potential several months without being able to buy more. So that's my recommendation. If Evan and I notice that there's a huge price drop, occasionally we'll announce it in Discord with our affiliate link. So if you want to support the channel, you can always use that affiliate link to buy them. But yeah, generally just keep checking. Sometimes Zoho will have them on sale. Zoho also sometimes will send you like 20% off coupons. So that's also a good place. David says, by the end of the summer, my growth plan is to come in 30 hours a week, but they're flex hours. Retail hours are always covered by others. Yeah, that's a bit away off for us. Right now I'm exceeding 40, and I think I don't want to, but I know I'm going to end up exceeding 50 before things calm down again. I don't think it can be helped. But I'm definitely having to make choices about what I want to do in my life. But that is, owning a business, and I'm definitely a lot happier now, doing this kind of stuff than I was before. But as we get closer to our goal of moving out, the hours are probably going to decrease a little bit, and then when we actually get to the point where we're ready to move out, the hours are going to sharply increase again, and it's probably going to be pretty hectic when we're moving, because there's going to be so many logistics to move the store, especially because we want to have zero downtime, so we don't want the store to be closed at all during the move. So that's going to be a very complex logistical maneuver. Obviously, there's going to be putting up walls and hiring new employees. It's going to be very crazy, and I'm not exactly sure how we're going to handle that yet, but that's still a goodly ways off. But hopefully after that calms down, sometime next year, we will be able to do stuff. Brian McWood says, how far are you moving? No idea. We haven't even really started looking at places yet. This is probably still 6+ months off, depending on how stuff goes. Right now, this garage, basically rent-free. So we want to fill this place to the maximum that we can before we move, because otherwise it's basically just throwing money away. So yeah, plus we want to get into the groove of managing people, because we're bringing on contractors now and we're really expanding our network, and we want to have that down before we move so that we don't have too much on our plate, because I'm a little worried. Neither of us are the most organizationally minded, so I think it's better to move in chunks, where we understand the process completely before moving on to the next process, because otherwise it's just going to become extremely difficult to communicate with each other in terms of making sure that everything is going the right way. So there may be an additional delay depending on how confident we are to move. Obviously, business is risk, but we want to calculate that risk and make an appropriate choice about when to move, because in a way it will make things even more serious, because then there is a commitment to rent and everything. So David says, my secret goal is to have 6 months more 6-month sales in a certain store. Yeah, that's a goal as well. Soulflame says 6 months go by quick. Yes, they do. But I'm in no way confirming that we're moving, right? It's still very theoretical, so don't take this as a clickbait, we're moving out video, because it's entirely possible that things will get extended, and I don't want to be held responsible for the disappointment. Funbrick says, I'm glad I've got plenty of space with my old Acros. I don't know what the price will be here in Australia if it's over $50 in the United States, as I only get Acros off of Amazon. Funbrick says, sadly, there are no good drawers like the Acro Mills that gets sold here on land in Australia. Plus, I don't physically have any more room to add drawers. Yeah, that's definitely an issue. I know that there are some European brands. You might want to talk to Ben and see what brand he uses. I always forget. But maybe you would have easier access to the European market. Brian McWood says, do you know what % of your parts are new? Not off the top of my head, but I may be able to figure this out. Let's see if Brick Freedom will make this easy. I'm pretty sure it's just sales %, in which case I'm going to have to go to BrickLink. But maybe it does have an inventory makeup. It doesn't. It does not. Let's go check BrickLink. Okay. Piece count or lot count? Let's see. Where did I read that? Do you know what % of your parts are new? I will start by piece count. Okay. Approximately 37% of our pieces are used. Yeah. Kind of surprised by that. That said, though, let's see here so that I don't forget. Okay, so 37.7% used piece. %5 of our lots are used. So only 37.7% of pieces are used, but 65% of the lots are used, which is actually about what I expected in terms of the lot breakup. But it really just does show you the difference between the lot count versus piece count argument. Okay, let's see here. David says, I'm just super stoked at the point where I'm on vacation and online orders are still going out the door. Yes, that is very impressive. Flames in Europe, Rayco is popular and they're very good. They also come in a metal case instead of plastic. David says, even if it means 9 days of no uploading. So, what are you doing on your vacation? Is it a staycation, or are you actually like gone? JB says, Iris, Stanley, and Art Bin parts are all the same and all pretty decent. Only gripe is the non-stacking drawers. Handles Imperium says, I'm wondering how the market for collectible minifigures is in the US. Are they selling well, and are they only selling with accessories? We don't usually sell them with accessories. I don't know if we've ever sold them with accessories. And whether or not they sell varies considerably on the series. Some series, they're gone. Some sit there for years. So totally depends on that. I would basically just go look up the sell ratio for everything within that set and then average it. And that should basically tell you what the average sell rate of, well, I know it will tell you what the average sell rate of the of the minifigs in that CMF are, or in that series are, and then it can tell you whether that series is going to be a good investment. You'll want to create a weighted thing probably so that you can also sell price into it, because random numbers here, if a minifig sells for $100, only sells once a year, and then there's another minifig that sells 3 times a year but it's only $20, then it's still going to be better to sell that $100 one. So you'll want to create something weighted there, but that's probably the best way to go about CMF calculation. Gizmo, welcome. Brian says, do you have a part that you're surprised you sell so much of, even with any price you put on it? No. Most of the pieces that sell through really fast pretty much expect to sell pretty fast. But occasionally the inverse is sometimes true, where there's a piece we're almost certain is going to sell really fast and then it just doesn't. Like for some reason I thought solar panels would sell. Solar panels do not sell. Do we even have any anymore? Okay, we at least don't have them in our cup. But it was an ongoing meme on the channel about the solar panels from the ISS just never sell. I'm trying to think of other stuff. Something that sells out really quick. That was like unexpected. No, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Soulflame says the sell ratio of minifig entry only versus complete set is around the same, but separating the accessories from the figure gives you higher profit. Bingo. Welcome, Dunder Mifflin. Brian McWood says that part sells no matter what I sell it for. I don't get it. Oh, ingots. That part sells how much? Interesting. I'm trying to think of like, I don't know. The issue is I don't really pack orders that much anymore. Only occasionally, or when there's like an insane amount or stuff like that. So I don't actually have the most like grounded understanding of what sells anymore, other than like, the data we get. But that's not like per piece, right? I just know the colors and the categories. Brian McWood says, someone bought all, so I bought a ton more. I'll probably get stuck with them now. Yeah, if someone buys out a large quantity of something, I usually consider it to be a fluke. Uh-oh. That was weird. The stream hiccuped. Let me know if the stream hiccuped for you guys. Yeah, usually I consider the... if someone comes out and buys out an entire thing of something, then my experience, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a particularly attractive piece. Sometimes it just means there was a specific person who needed an insane amount of that piece. If it's consistently happening, then, obviously it's a very high selling piece. But I mean, there's a lot of dynamics that go into what piece has a likelihood of selling and under what conditions. Thunder Mifflin says, can't stay for long, just thought I'd pop in and say hi. Well, hello back to you again. JB says, apparently if a CMF comes with a burr, that's a good one to get. The toucan is very nice. Seagulls. All those have gotten much pricier than you'd think, especially via other accessories. Yes, animals. Animals do sell. I guess that would be something that kind of surprises me. Animals sell. Usually sometimes in groups as well, or someone will buy multiple animals. Fidel says something, I was surprised it sold quickly and completely as the black bases from the art sets. Yeah, I'm not really too surprised that those would sell. Base plates sell pretty well anyway, and black is the best performing color, hands down, on BrickLink, just for Lego in general. Let me actually check the statistics on that. If I remember correctly, our black sell rate is double double light bluish gray. Let's see here. Oh, no, things have... That's inaccurate. Something is off about this. Okay, that's a lot better. Let's see, can I get an annual average here? It was telling me that medium blue is the highest performing color, and I thought that was a little weird, but it was because it was looking at April, and I did pack an order this morning with a lot of medium blue pieces, so it was only looking at that. Okay, so we sold 36,629 black pieces and 26,000 white pieces. And white, light bluish gray, dark bluish gray are all pretty much the same, hovering around that mid-20s. And then we jump down to red, which is at 11,000. So you can tell the highest performing colors perform substantially better. In the case of black, it performs triple what number 5 here is. So, you know what? I wonder. I wonder if, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. What do you know? Evan and I were having a discussion about something called the 80-20 rule. I don't remember if this was a discussion on stream or not, but the 80-20 rule is a weird mathematical concept that mostly exists in business, which basically says that 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your products, and 80% of sales come from 20% of your products. 20% of all, out of 100%, yes, 80% of sales come from 20% of products. So basically, if you have 100 products, the top 20 products are going to make up 80% of your revenue. And then this is also inversed as well. So what I was just wondering here is, on Brick Freedom, it displays 20 colors that it ranks. And so I was wondering, this fall off here, is it at 4? Yes, it is at 4. So black, white, light bluish gray, and dark bluish gray are the best performing pieces by far. And then red is like a third of that. And red is number 5 out of 20. So 80-20 rule. Hello, Ben. But anyway, Evan didn't believe me that that was a real thing, which I guess I wouldn't necessarily believe me either. But it is very much a real thing, and it's extremely fascinating that this mathematical concept exists in like basically everything, including that little color chart. So yeah. Anyway, now whenever I see it, I gotta mention it in order to drive my point home. I don't know if I already said this, but welcome, Ben. Handel's Imperium says it's a well-known principle called the Pareto principle. Interesting. I did not know the official name. JB says, I was literally telling my wife about the 80-20 rule last night. So what did I miss here? Soulflame says, not that surprising, Paul. Black is the color that is present in almost every set LEGO produces. Yeah, not surprised. And also, it's good for Star Wars mocks. Light bluish gray, same thing. Dark bluish gray, same thing. Gizmo says, JB, gonna watch your new vlog after this. Do we have a new... Oh, JB, not just a brick in the butt. I was like, we have a new vlog? Wow, I did not know that. Soulflame says an 80-20, that 80-20 rule is interesting. In Belgium, 20% of the workers do 80% of the work while the rest is watching them. That's probably true everywhere. JB says, not really a vlog this week, just about 10-minute update on the store and some stuff I got after work yesterday. Still very cool. We have been lacking supremely in our video posting, but I mean, I guess I'll apologize, but at the same time, we've been getting a lot of work done. So, unfortunately, the store usually takes precedence. But you know, hopefully things will calm down and we'll be able to put a bigger focus on YouTube again in the future. But now we're just kind of doing stuff when we can. And honestly, shooting the vlogs, not that we don't enjoy it, but like, it's a very convoluted process. We got to make sure that anything that, no offense, we don't want you guys to see is put away. Make sure, you know, any contractual stuff is put away. You got to make sure there's no customer information out, bills, anything with financial information. And then we got to make sure there's no copyrighted music playing. You know, got to make sure everything's quiet. Everyone's got to stop talking. You know, we got to figure out what we're going to say. There's a lot that goes into shooting the vlogs, at least when we want them to be at a quality that we're, you know, if you're going to do something, at least do it right. So if we can't make a high quality vlog, we usually just don't. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into them, and so it can sometimes cause a big slowdown when we're doing stuff, and so they kind of just get forgotten. At least that's my excuse. I don't know what Evan's excuse is. JB says, I had a picky person at the LEGO store visit in Delaware yesterday. They were very strict about making sure your pap cup lid snapped closed. The ever-present mall cop. Or, in this case, I guess it would be the LEGO cop. Handles Imperium says, what do you find most annoying handling used pieces? Dirt, fakes, judging condition, small piece counts per lot. The small piece counts per lot aren't necessarily that big of a deal, especially with how we handle everything. Fakes, probably. Yeah, fakes are damage. I mean, dirt can be cleaned. But yeah, fakes are damage, probably. It can be a little frustrating with a small piece count, or with a small lot count, or small piece count per lot, but you know, that's also can sometimes be a bonus, because having a very high lot count is definitely a major contributor to having sales. So it's also kind of a bonus. Now, I would way rather have an extremely high lot count and an extremely high piece count, but if I had to pick between them, I would probably go with the lot count. That said, it is of course less efficient to catalog 1 of a piece than 20 of a piece, but that's why we have this A-B sorting strategy to make sure that there's a buildup of lots that are worth building up. Obviously, some lots are just so incredibly rare that, you know, there's no point, but hopefully those have higher value as well because they're rarer. Gizmo says, and editing them, a lot of work. Yes, thankfully, my editing is too bad, and Evan does not approve, so usually I am not allowed to edit them. This has been changing a little bit, but yeah, I do not meet the just a brick in the bucket quality standards. I'm almost certain that you could take a pretty good guess as to which videos have been edited by me on the channel, and you'd probably be pretty accurate. Gizmo says, my store is as long as the lid is closed to touching the cup. Great store. Soulflame says, some stores do that in Antwerp. They do that too. Now I just got to go to Brussels where they tape the cup. JB says, I visited several stores in Maryland, one in Washington, D.C., and a couple others. That's the only one that told me I was going to have to take pieces out if I couldn't make it click. That's just such a pain in the ass, because then they got to restock. No, I broke my streak. A long time ago, when we first started streaming, we had a Paul not swearing in a stream streak. Because for some reason, it was just very difficult for me. This is the first time I've sworn on a stream. Very long time. I have ruined the YouTube algorithm. My apologies. Funberg Creations says, or what was I reading? I visited several stores in Maryland, one in Washington, D.C., a couple others. This is the only one that told me I was going to have to take pieces out if I couldn't make it click. What a pain in the butt. Funberg Creations, that is an advantage of recording only speed builds. On the camera, I turn off audio recording, so I only add music when I edit the video, with music that's allowed on YouTube. Yeah, we have had one building video. It's actually our worst performing video on the channel. Fun fact, it's the ISS. If you want to go boost that video up a bit, you can go watch it. I thought the cinematography was quite impressive. It was shot here in the garage before all this. It was way back in the early days. But for those of you who don't know, Evan's primary occupation is film stuff. He does a lot of stuff. He actually owns another business which does live event production. And he went to film school for a bit, and he works for a couple film companies. But anyway, he got some friends and Kyle, and they shot like shot with, like, you know, very high quality cameras and stuff, this video. I remember Kyle complaining intensely about his back because they just shot the whole build on shoulder mount. So, like, I'm sure you've seen, like, in BTS videos of stuff, people, you know, with the cameras and stuff. Kyle just shot it like that, and it was like an all-day thing. Very painful. So props to Kyle for that, although I doubt he was watching. JB says that I remember catching you in a couple early streams. Yeah. JB says, my worst performing video is a building set as well. There were no cinematic aspects to it. Adam Yarber says, hi Paul, thanks for the feedback on BrickLink. Was able to get my first store started. Just adding inventory now. Hopefully I'll be open by May 1st. Congratulations, I remember your email. Make sure to update us on how it goes. How many, what size do you think you're starting at? Also, are you doing used and new, or just new? or just used. But yeah, that building video was definitely our lowest performing. I think we did it a little bit I think we might have done that a week or two before the 1,000 subscriber special, which was also a lot of fun. Fortunately, we don't have time to do anything like that anymore. Another very poorly performing video is actually the BTS for the 1,000 subscriber special. But if you want to go see how that, for those of you that were around for a 1,000 subscriber special, if you want to go see how that happened and how much of a logistical nightmare that was, go check out that BTS video. You should be able to find it on the channel, or just search Just a Brick in the Bucket 1,000 subscriber stream BTS video. But very interesting. I don't really know that much about cinematography, but there were wires everywhere. They had like a whole stream deck set up. I think it was a 5-camera shoot. Very crazy, extreme overkill. Would not do it again. Adam Yarber says, I have 8 sets of drawers now, doing both new and used. I'll definitely need more drawers. Yeah, my recommendation for the drawers, at least if you're in the United States, I don't remember, is to wait. Just check Amazon every day, or use like camel.com to create an alert. The Acro Mills units drop in price probably every few weeks. Occasionally, if there's a big price drop and we happen to notice, we'll post it in our Discord with an affiliate link. And you can check it out there, but they'll drop from like the $70 they're at to like $40. I recommend you have some money set aside so you can just buy a ton of drawers when they go down, because who knows how long it might be before they go down again. But doing both new and used, that is definitely what I recommend now. We started originally with just new. I think that was probably a mistake. We should have done both. The lot count is definitely very important in terms of generating revenue, or at the very least we should have shifted to a mix much earlier on. I don't know. There have been a lot of mistakes made, but that's half the fun of it. So. All right, guys, I'm probably getting pretty close to wrapping up here. It's been a little over an hour. Have not gotten a ton done, but that's all right. Had some good questions, so that is always a plus. Hopefully Evan will be back next week. He's working this week, but hopefully he'll be able to join us next time. It's always a little awkward without both of us here, but still. It's fun. Handles Imperium says, one thing that happened to me while handling used was that I found a weird small creature in a pile that had no indication it was a Lego piece. It landed in the garbage. Donate pile, and a few days later I stumbled upon it on BrickLink. It's called Momo. Don't throw away Momo, guys. That is from Avatar: The Last Airbender. That is probably a pretty expensive piece. It breaks my heart that you threw that away. That is one of those themes that I wish that they would resurrect, but they probably won't. The Avatar: The Last Airbender sets that they did actually make, if I remember correctly, they weren't actually that interesting. I'm sure there's some cool mocks out there, but I think there were only like 4 or 5 sets. Great show, though. But yeah, I think I'll take any last questions right now. I'll give it like a minute or two for anybody to ask any last things, and then I'll be ending and getting back to cleaning stuff, and yeah, we will see. I am also looking forward. I've been racking my brain on a software problem. I'm writing an upscaler, like a video image upscaler, like an AI, and I have talked about this a couple streams ago. So I guess I should update everyone who was here, the like 5 people. But I finally figured out what my problem was after weeks of slamming my head into it today. in the middle of working in the store. And probably not the best practice, but I was so excited I just immediately had to print out the code on paper and go through and annotate the thing. So I used a little bit of company time for that this morning, but I'm looking forward to tonight finally being able to implement that, because I have literally spent hundreds of hours in the last like 3 months trying to solve this problem, and it was like the most straightforward thing ever. For those of you without any programming experience, there's a thing called an array, which is basically like a list, but it's a list with multiple axes. So like it's lists within lists. So you can have like list 1, list 2, list 3, and list 4, but those are all saved as one thing. And then within list 1, you can have more lists, and so on and so forth. And you can just have a billion lists. And that's how the AI model stores pixels. It's like, you know, the pixel and then red, blue, green, you know. And the very simple solution was that I had 2 of the lines swapped. So list 1 was actually list 2. And all I got to do is change those. But yeah. And yes, I can shout out Doug's channel. Legos owner, welcome, but also goodbye. We're about to leave. Be kind all the time. Says, hey, can you shout out Doug's channel again? He's so close to 500 subs. He's at 487 at the moment. Go subscribe to Doug. He has been a long-time subscriber of this channel. Awesome guy. His store is not open yet, but he has so much Lego. But he's like active constantly in our Discord. Terrific guy. Highly recommend you go check out his channel. I don't know if I have a link, but it's Do2 Bricks. So you can go ahead and search that. But yeah, go check him out. Awesome dude. Also a patron. So thank you for your support, Doug. But all right, yes, that was the stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Adam Yarber says his link to Discord somewhere handy. Should be down in the description. Sometimes I forget to paste the description in for the streams. So if it's not here, just look at any normal video. It's inserted automatically on the normal videos. So go join the Discord there. Evan and I are not in there a lot, but you can always ping us, assuming you aren't pinging us constantly, and we'll usually respond. But yeah, there's a ton of people in there. So thank you, and see you all next week. Hopefully both of us will be back. And goodbye.